Well, Mr. President, Daniel Igali, Olympic gold medalist, Commonwealth gold medalist, World Championship gold medalist. It's a pleasure welcoming you to Issues in the Press in this edition of the program, Sports Today on Africa Independent Television, AIT. What will you tell us is happening in Yenagoa?
We're having the second Governor Dixon Wrestling Classics in Bayelsa, which also doubles as the national championships for the Nigeria Wrestling Federation. This is probably the most important tournament for the athletes in the year because we use this to determine the national team. Only the gold medalists make the national team. And we have quite a number of athletes here. We've had some amazing performances and we're really, really excited by what's happening in Bayelsa today.
We're looking at the turnout. To me, very encouraging. 16 states, a number of club side all converging on Yenagoa.
Yes, we expected more too, but you know the financial crunch is hitting hard on a lot of states, so we can understand. We hope that next year's edition will be a bit bigger and we'll have more time and we'll have more states because last time we had about 24 states. So we lost some states this year, but I'm encouraged by the output I've seen so far and the level of wrestling. It's really encouraging.
Let's do some what we call know the game. Basically, from what I've been told, what is going on presently behind you now is the Greco-Roman.
Freestyle.
Freestyle now.
Female freestyle wrestling.
Female freestyle. Okay, let's start with the Greco-Roman. Basically, I see two athletes holding their hands, going on the mats. What's the difference?
The Greco-Roman is an awkward style of wrestling to the average Nigerian because you can't touch the legs. You wrestle from your waist up. So to someone who understands traditional wrestling or some of wrestling, you watch people wrestling without touching their legs. It's very unnatural. But that is what it is. And it's an exciting style to watch if they know what they are doing. The North Africans are good at it. The Northern Europeans are also very good at it. You have the same number of medals as freestyle or female wrestling, so we don't have a choice but to try and harness our skills in Greco-Roman as well. But ordinarily, it's an unnatural sport to the average Nigerian person.
Will you say for Nigeria, basically, we have more of the freestyle wrestlers?
Yes, we have freestyle wrestling and female wrestling. That's what we do well at. Over the last few years, we've done extremely well at both female wrestling, more in female wrestling and freestyle wrestling. But we were fortunate to win a gold medal at the last Africa Games by Emmanuel Nworie. So I think there are one or two athletes that we can groom to do well in Africa at the moment and maybe in the near future at the world level in Greco-Roman too. But right now, our forte is more in female wrestling.
Let's look at the scoring in the Greco-Roman.
Yes.
What do I need to do to score a point?
You need to go behind your opponent. And when you go behind him, you need to make sure that one of 4 positions touches the ground. Either an elbow and 2 knees, or 2 elbows and 1 knee has to touch the ground for you to score 2 points. If you take the athlete from standing straight to his back, it's 4 points. If you throw him, we call it high amplitude. You throw an athlete and his legs go over an arc and he comes down on his back, it's 5 points. If you score 8 points above your opponent, you've won the match. It looks complicated, but it's fun.
Because from the interactions I've had with the fans here, most persons in the hall here are either past wrestlers, present wrestlers, or future wrestlers. And once the referees are taking their decision, there is a banter, and it forms an interesting banter.
Yes, it's good that the spectators also understand the rules. But the rules are quite complicated even for the referees. I'm in the technical commission. We write the rules, so that's why sometimes you see me going around making corrections. It can be difficult for the average person to understand, but most of the Bayelsa people have gotten to understand because we host this tournament on an annual basis. So that feedback is very encouraging.
Let's look at freestyle. Are the rules same as Greco-Roman, except the touch of the legs?
Almost the same, except for now, you don't have a 5-point move in freestyle. If you even do the same throw as Greco-Roman, you only get 4 points instead of 5 points. That is almost the difference. But freestyle makes for more of an exciting wrestling because of the use of the legs. You can use both legs, you can use your hands to get the legs, and that is our style of wrestling. So I am also a fan of freestyle. I was a freestyle wrestler, and I think more people are tuned to freestyle than Greco-Roman.
Are we seeing the Bayelsan culture, part of Nigerian culture, on display right here?
Yes, you see the drums beating. Yesterday, it was exciting because when I was sitting down, I could hear the drums calling somebody's title and telling him to watch the ground, meaning that the man may be coming for his waist. And to be vigilant, that's what he was saying with the drums, and the athlete was hearing him on the mats. Bayelsa culture is thoroughly on display here.
Are you proud of it?
Very proud of it. I'm very proud of the governor who, at these very austere times, feels that we must encourage our culture and we must ensure that our youths are doing what is life. Sports is life. You have 16 states, over 6 clubs here. Wrestlers from the north, south, east, and west mixing up here, making friends, pushing themselves to the limits, observing rules most importantly. Observing rules in a society where rules are no longer observed. You can't even break somebody's finger. You can't touch somebody's eye with your hand. One false move, you get penalized and you can't complain. Observing rules. You can't beat it.
Well, permit me to call you Daniel Igali.
Yes.
That's your name. Your title is Mr. President of the Wrestling Federation. What do we need to do as a country, as a federation, to get to where you got to as a wrestler?
We need to invest. We need to invest a lot more than we're doing now. And this is not putting any blames on anybody, because we know the competing demands in society, but we really need to invest. I got to tell you this. When I first got to Canada in 1994, I was already an African champion. But when I got to understand the training regimen alone, I knew that we were joking here. When in 1996, I was discovered as a potential Olympian in 2020, and the program was drawn out for me, I had to have 163 matches before 2000 from 1996, and it was followed religiously. That means a lot of money is expended, because you need a chiropractor, your personal physician, you need your trainer, you need your coaches with you, your training partner most times when you are traveling, your dietitian. You are competing about 8, 9, 10 times a year. It's expensive. But if we have to be world beaters in sports, we must invest, and invest a lot more than we're doing currently.
Mr. President, money might be lacking, but talents, I would say, aren't lacking here.
No, talents are in abundance. Even here, I see so many young athletes who we just need to nurture. And by nurturing, it's not mere encouragement by mouth. It's bringing these athletes into regular camps, taking them to regular tournaments. There are so many 14, 15, 16-year-olds here who are 2024 potential medalists. But I don't know what will have to happen after this, because yes, the federation will do their bit, but do we have a bank who will be prepared to say, okay, we're going to take charge of the under-16 training camp for a month? Do we have an hotel who can tell us we're going to sponsor these athletes to the youth world championships? Those are the things we need. Yes, the federal government can sponsor us to the African championships and maybe the world championships, because those are the key tournaments. But the ones that really matter at the Grand Prix tournaments, at the invitational tournaments. That is where you hone your skills. That's where you make the mistakes and you don't care. Because at the Olympics, you don't want to make mistakes. You finish making all your mistakes in those tournaments, and then you go and prove yourself in the main event. And that's what we need to do, but I don't know whether that is feasible at the moment.
How do you stay still being hopeful?
Because there's a future. There's a future. And I remain hopeful because in 1990, 91, 92, 93, I was one of them. And then I had an opportunity and I blossomed. And so I'm in a position now where I can encourage at my level. The Federation can do their bit, but Nigerians in their multitudes also have to do more. The federal government, the state governments, government is us. We are government. If everybody does their bit, government has done their bit. And then we can now soar higher. We want medals in Nigeria. We love sports. The only thing lacking is the follow-up. Follow-up by financing what we need to do to get there. So I just hope we do, and that hopefully we who are innately ingrained in sports will tomorrow sit down and be happy that the little kids who are discovering now in 8 years will win medals for Nigeria.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, my brother.